Okay, boys and girls, just a couple things real quick. So this is our review. So I'm going to go over all of the answers in the review here. You should do the review on Schoology, and let me just look that up real quick. I have it as, it should say Review 2019. So the iPad, it says iPad lesson with answers. So in there, actually, I should say lesson with answers. In there will be this whole lesson and the answer. So I don't want you printing that out or doing it. I'd rather you start with the Review 2019. If you want to see how I do all the problems, you should be watching this video as you are right now. Okay, so Monday we are going to have a check-in, and the check-in is going to be like a test. And you can use a calculator. You should have a piece of paper with you, or if you have this printed out. Okay, so here we go. The first part says identify the base and height of each triangle. So I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're doing it from the video, just pause and then hit play. So the base is going to be, well, first of all, you should always circle the right angle. So the base is always part of the triangle. So right here is part of the triangle. So it's BC, line segment BC. The height is AD right here. And the height and the base always meet at the right angle. That's why you circle it. And the height does not have to be part of the triangle. The base does. Next one, right triangle is right there. So the base is NP. It's not PQ, it's just NP because it has to be part of the triangle. And then the height is going to be MQ. Okay, next is this. So you're going to find the area of each figure. So a few notes real quick I'm going to put on this page is the triangle is 1/2. Base times height. Parallelogram right here is base times height. And finally, trapezoid is 1/2 times the height times B1 plus B2. Now, for the triangle, you might want to, you got to look at it a little differently because you got to remember that the height and the base meet at a right angle. Okay? And if you have it on paper, you could turn it. Okay, pause and then hit play. Okay, so for number 3, the answer is 112 centimeters squared. The reason why, it's 1/2 base times height. This is the right angle you should be using. So this is the base, which is 28. The height is 8 here. So the answer is 112 centimeters squared. The parallelogram is base times height. This is not the base. And the reason why it's not the base is because it includes part of what's not really there. The base has to be part of the parallelogram. So this is the base, it's 35. So it's area equals 35 times 15, which is the height, and you get 525 centimeters squared. Trapezoid is 1/2 height times B1 plus B2. So half, the height is right here, which is 31.5, times B1 plus B2. So you get 68 when you add them. I took half of 68, so I got 34. So 31.5 times 34 is 1,071 centimeters squared. Okay, so you have 2 to do. I'm going to tell you right now that this one's this one's a little tricky. If you could do it, great. If not, don't worry about it. Just give it your best shot. So pause, then hit play. Okay, so for this, it says the base of the triangle is 40. 40, and I'm just going to draw a triangle. And then it says the area is 200. So we need to figure out the height here. So to figure that out, we fill in what we know. So our formula is area equals 1/2 base times height. So area is 200, half, the base is 40 times the height. I took half of 40, which is 20. So it's 20h. So divide by 20, and I get 10. So the height is 10 centimeters. If you want, put it back in the problem, see if it works. So it's 1/2, base is 40, times 10, which is the height. Half of 40 is 20. 20 times 10 is going to be 200. All right, the next one, the trapezoid. So you have a trapezoid here, and I'll just really quickly draw a trapezoid. So let's say this base is 20. It says this base is 32. Sorry. We don't know what the height is, but we do know the whole area, and the whole area is 442. So I used our formula. Area equals 1/2 times B1. Area equals 1/2 times the height times B1 plus B2. So I fill in what I know. 442 is my area. Half H. I don't know what H is for the height, but B1 plus B2 is 20 plus 32, which is 52. So what I did was took half of 52, which is 26. So 26, I divide by 442 by 26, and I get 17 is my answer. Boys and girls, so here's Cookie. So for this one, the whole octagon is 560 inches squared. So really what you're doing is to figure out the area of this one right here, you have to figure out this triangle, how many triangles there are in this octagon. Technically, we're just looking for the shaded region. There's 8 big triangles, but if you cut each one in half, because that's what you're doing here, you have 16 of them. So all you have to do is take 560 and divide it by 16, and you get 35 inches squared. Now some kids do this. They take 560 divided by 8 first because you have 8 triangles. And if you do that, you're going to get 70. And then what you're going to do is divide 70 by 2 because this is one triangle is going to be 70, but you want half of it. So that's how you get 35 then. Okay, on the bottom one, what you're doing is this. So I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of students get this wrong because they think that this triangle is equal to this triangle, and they're not. So first of all, this is a square in the middle. So if it's a square, I know each side is 15. All right, so this base here is also 15 because we have those little hash marks. If you remember, those little hash marks means sides are equal there. So here's what I did. I figured out the area for each of the triangles and just added it up. So the first triangle right here, if this is 15, the height's going to be 15. So right here I have area equals 1/2 base times height, so it's area times 1/2 of 15 times 15, and I figured out it was 112.5 centimeters squared. This one right here is the base is 20, the height's 15. So area equals 1/2 base times height, area equals 1/2 of 20 times 15. I took 1/2 of 20, which is 10, so that's going to equal 150 centimeters squared. So when you add them together, your final answer is 262.5 centimeters squared. All right, we have one last one. All right, so for this one, you have a parallelogram. So here's the parallelogram. Oops, sorry. Parallelogram's right here. The area of the triangle RST. So RST is this one right here, the big one, is 385. Find the area of this region right here. It's 2 steps, and I'm going to give you a hint. So this triangle here, the RST triangle, what you do know is the area, and you do know the base. So you know the area and you know the base. So see if you could, that helps you solve for this shaded region. All right, pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so here's how you do it. So what you need to do is, the first part is right here. We need to figure out the height. So to figure out the height, area equals 1/2 base times height. So the area is 385 equals 1/2. The base is 35, and the height we don't know. So what I did is I took 1/2 of 35, which is 17.5, and I divide by 17.5, and I get the height right here is 22. Well, if you notice, the height for RST is also the height for SPT. So it's 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 of the base is 23, the height is 22. So 23 times 22 is 506. Take 1/2 of that and you get 253. Now what you could have done is take 1/2 of 22 and make 11. And then what you could do is just multiply 23 times 11. That's probably quicker and easier. So that area then is 253 centimeters squared. Definitely know how to do that because you'll probably have one similar on Monday on the quiz. All right, boys and girls, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.